Okay, looks like we are live. I'm just going to do Instagram. Hey, everybody. What is going on? You are watching today Tags Live, and we are live right now for our brand new show that happens every Wednesday. I got a little distracted because my mother was calling me.
Hi,
And
Mom.
I know, right? That's the thing about live. You can control it.
Exactly.
This is our fifth week doing Tags Live. I'm your host, Steve V, alongside my co-host, Cody Maurice Doggett. How you doing?
I'm all right. Hello, darling. How are you doing today?
I'm doing pretty good. I'm pretty good. We've got a really fun show in this hour for you. We are really excited to be a part of the Connection Zone on the Get Vocal platform. We do know that you can be watching us on other platforms like YouTube. Maybe Cody can check if we're live on Facebook, and we'll try to get to all your questions. This is our show where you get to kind of chime in on past topics that we're talking about tonight, and we'll read your comments. We'll do our best to get to some of the other shows like on YouTube and on Facebook, and we are streaming on Instagram Live too, which I've never done before. But hi over there, people. And anyways, this is a lot of fun. We're really excited to be a part of this. And let's just get the show going. I've got my gloves on. I put my Tom Ford on. I'm ready. I've got a cocktail. I'm ready. Are you?
I'm ready. We are live on Facebook too. And I got my password right on the first try. Thank you.
I love it. I love it. All right. Well, we just want to start the show off with Cody and I recently hung out this past weekend, and we had a lot. We went to the Eagle here in New York City. But before, we'll talk a little bit about those shenanigans. But one of the things that we did do was we stayed at home and we watched the LGBTQ Center in LA for their telethon, and their goal was to raise $1 million, which they exceeded. And they had everybody performing from Cyndi Lauper to Cher, talking to a whole host of other people. Actually, in terms of as virtual events go, I was really impressed. What did you think?
I loved it. I absolutely loved it. It moved me so much that I actually donated.
You did?
Yeah, it was wonderful. It was so good to get back and to give to the community. And I was just really sad Billy Porter didn't perform. But I mean, not everybody has to perform all the time, so I totally get it. But yeah, I had a great time. And you were there, so that even made it even better.
Good cause, and truth be known, we stayed to the bitter end to see the ticker tape that was going by on people that had donated, and Cody needed to see his name, and we finally saw Cody Maurice Doggett. There's his name.
My name was up there. I took a picture too. I'll put it on Instagram probably tomorrow so everybody can see. It was good. It made my heart feel warm. So yes.
Well, our night continued so much so that we went off to the Eagle here in New York City. It's our second time going out there. They have the rooftop opened up. We had a lot of fun until we were drinking so much. And, you know, one of the drawbacks of knowing people that work there, the manager and so forth, is they may give you like a slight discount on getting in, and I get it because everyone's got to charge what they got to charge right now because they're not making what they used to. But one of the things that a lot of manager types love to do when they just want to like throw you a bone or just say like thanks for coming is give you a shot. And we did not need a shot of tequila after all of the vodka we had been drinking that whole. Am I right?
You are right. I felt it, I think, for 2 days after.
Still feeling it.
So, hi, Teddy.
Hi,
yeah,
Teddy.
It was great. Yeah, it was good, though. Like, who says no to a shot of tequila? So
I know, right? Exactly. And I had this one question for you that I thought was funny is, you know, I was getting ready for the show. I found this little token from the Eagle here in New York City. And this little token, if you can see it, is for They used to give it away for one free drink.
What?
You know, in this, like,
When did you get that token?
you know, I know people, but
I've never gotten one of those tokens before.
exactly. But the point
Oh my shade! I call shade.
I call don't drink any more tequila. But the point being is I cannot use this token in COVID times to my bartender friends and be like, let me get a free drink. And so I'm just going to keep this token with me and put it aside when businesses are back up and running. And hopefully they'll honor it. I don't know if they will, but.
Well, I think it's a good remembrance of times bygone. So I think that's a good thing to do. Also, if you tip the bartender really well, you can probably get away with it, especially since they know and love you. So.
Oh, well, we'll see about that. Let's say hi to, on this show a little bit later, we are really excited. We have Corey Harmon joining us, the 2019 Mr. Rock Bear, who's joining us. And we are going to be talking about adult sex toys. And he's been on Tag's podcast before. I can't wait for him to come on it in a little while. I see you there in our hello boys, and I can't read everything because I don't have my glasses on. So if Cody, you can monitor some of the.
Yes, I got you.
Yeah, I'm trying to look cute here and not wear my glasses, but I have them in case. So.
Just in case, darling. You look fabulous. It looks like the library is open when you put those on. You're like,
I have so much going on here. It's not even funny, including my lights and everything, but that's okay. We are ready to go. Let's get into our first segment, which we always do on this brand new platform. We break down one hot gay sex topic, and this hot gay sex topic comes from Tuesday's show, from the Tags podcast show that comes in your feed every Tuesday. And I was talking with my co-hosts Jeremy Ross Lopez and Lincoln about this fairly new website called Dirty Code. And just to give you guys, for a lot of you guys that don't know, Dirty Code is essentially a new website platform where the guy started it with, you go on there and it's all about body parts and they have funny, interesting sketch drawings of dick sizes, of like long, they have Coke cans next to the sketch of a dick size on length, girth, and everything in between. And then they have funny drawings about what you might be into. And the creator of it, as we were talking about, you can listen to episode 199 on Tag's podcast. We break it down even more on there. But the creator of this new site says that he wanted a new platform that just was like kind of down and dirty and wasn't about cute faces and personalities. Well, I'm not sure you get really personalities these days on Grindr and everything, but he wanted a site that really was just like down and dirty on what you're into. And they've got sketch drawings of like a person's foot, like licking the foot. So obviously they're into foot play, and rope tie. And I guess my first question to you, because we kind of broke it down a lot there, Cody, is would you sign up for this? Because it takes just minutes to create your profile on this and get on there.
All right. Are you ready? So
I already know.
I already signed up. It didn't take a minute. It took a long, long time for me because for scientific purposes, I had to get everything correct. So I found that I got myself erect to see what my penis looks like and to see which one, and I compared it. I put my penis next to the phone so I could see exactly which one looked not exactly like, but closest to. And I even was like, should I make myself come in order to get all those correct as well? Because yes.
So you're talking about, sorry, I was turning off the Facebook, the Instagram live over here because I realized they probably can't hear you. So I'm like, and I'm so self-conscious with stuff like that. Anyways, but you're talking about, you can actually, they have like droplets of a penis, a sketch. Yeah. Everybody think of like sketch stick figure drawings of like a penis. And on this piece where you would fill out, it would be like little droplets of cum spurting out of your dick, or shooting like way out.
A gusher.
gusher, and everything in between. So you're telling me to
Yes.
fill it out accurately, you jacked off to see
I-
how far you
I did
actually.
not. I thought about it. I really, really was like, but then I ran out of, I've had other things to do today, so I didn't have time. But I might go back. I might check off tonight and see if I accurately remember what. Also, Steve, I think they should let you, as far as like those ejaculation ones are concerned. I don't know about you, but like my cum varies. Sometimes it's a little bit. Sometimes it's what's Mount Rushmore? No, what's the one, the geyser that they do?
I know exactly what you're talking about, but I think what you're really talking about is the fact that if you edge a little bit more, it'll be bigger cum spurts.
If I'm horny, then
yeah,
more
and
cum comes out.
if a lot of cum isn't coming out of you, Cody, it's because you're working it every minute.
Only after
that's kind of how that works.
Only
you
4
can
times does it like run out.
from the feedback I get from the experts, and I use air quotes and not because there's a lot of people that know about this stuff, is that the more you edge, the more buildup you can produce. So if you want so a lot of porn stars I've heard, when they want to go on camera for that money shot, that cum shot, what they'll do is they'll really build themselves up, not come for like a few days beforehand, edge, because that keeps producing the fluid, and let it go down. So when it's like lights, camera, action, we need that money shot, Cody, you need to like produce, and then it can actually go further.
For me, though, sometimes just the anticipation of sex will make me come more.
I was thinking of that song. You remember that song?
No, who sings that song?
I don't know. It's an old song. Somebody put it in the comments. Exactly. And keep reading our comments there. Yeah, it's interesting that this new site, Dirty Code, I was sort of mixed. I loved that you were really quick to fill it out and get on there. And I think it's cool. I would probably do it too. I mean, it's just another way to kind of connect with somebody and show your preferences on what you're into. And I think it's like a good thing, right? I mean, why not?
Yeah, I thought that part was wonderful because it kind of gets that out of the way and it gets it out there. And like I said, I got really excited actually filling out the part about my dick, and I got really into it, and sexual positions, because sexual compatibility is very, very important in a relationship. So I get all that part. I get all that. However, the thing that got me was once I got on the site and I didn't really see any faces of anybody. I go on Grindr and I actually talk to people, and like maybe it's not all about their face, but like it's somewhat about their face. I do enjoy seeing faces. Also, I'm that guy on Grindr that is like, how was your day? What did you do today? So a lot of it is about personality.
That kind of guy.
I'm a nice guy. I'm sorry.
I need to get into it. I would talk to my mother about how her day was. I don't need to talk to you about on that. But good for you. And
I mean, it is what it is. It's not good. It's not bad. It's just my process. So.
Exactly. I mean, I think I think there's definitely a space for it, and it's good. Jeremy, our other host on Tags podcast, Jeremy Ross Lopez, is what his one complaint was that as him being such an ass guy, like he's a lover of ass, he felt that there was far too much emphasis on the dick and the size and the girth, and very small options for the ass. And that was a minus for him. And that to me makes sense, because I think, I looked at the asses and I was kind of like, yeah, there's like 5 choices. And the dick choices were huge, like so many options. Not huge in the way I'd want it, but like huge. And
because it only went up to what? I think 9 inches.
9.
Like 9.
I'm like, what about 10? And
What
I'm
about
looking
10
for.
and 12?
So they already lost my interest because I would be looking for the plus size
Oh,
model.
yeah? Oh, okay.
Well, I mean,
Good
if
for
I'm going to be looking
you.
just strictly at that, yeah,
Yeah,
just
I get it.
saying.
I think they should definitely have more butt options, being a butt man myself, because I like a good old booty bubble butt, you know? So, but I think they're really inclusive because they do include women.
Yes,
And
yes.
they ask you, do you have this? Do you, what, what would you like to put in here? Are you a female? Are you a male? I think they're super inclusive. So I think they're getting there. They just need to have more booty options.
And we should shout out that this week here is Bisexual Awareness Week, actually. It's a whole thing. And shout out to all our bisexual friends of our LGBT community. And in this, to the point that you just made, and we're talking about Dirty Code, the new website, or the website that at least we found out about. I agree with you. I think it's not about, and I read this, that the creator is not saying gay, bi, it's
Yeah.
everybody. And to your point, if you were bi, you might want to check, well, I'm into this kind of clit and I'm into this kind of penis. And
Yeah. I don't.
just say,
Is that an option? I wouldn't know if that was an option, but that would be amazing if that was an option. Because
absolutely.
I was all about the dick. I was like, yeah, this one. Yep, I like this one.
Well, we've got to move on to our
Okay.
next topic. But Cody, if you can read some of the comments that may or may not be coming in and let me know,
right.
that would be great. I'm just checking you can watch us on YouTube. I'm going to turn our sound on over there and see if you guys are putting any comments. Okay, I'm checking over there. All right. Well, we've got to move on before our first guest comes in at 9:30. And we've got to get a whole nother topic in. And we decided that when we started this show, we were calling this topic Vulnerable Voices. And we did a 4-part series on the vulnerability of our community as gay men or just LGBTQ that we all experience. And we decided after doing it from a relationship standpoint that there's far more vulnerabilities that we all know and have. And we're going to continue the series going on. And this week, we decided to focus a little bit about, as we end summer and move into our fall in a COVID-19 era, what does that really look like? And we were sparked by an article on New Now Next. And a guy wrote an article. It's called, let's just call him out. Carlos Crawford wrote a very introspective article called Seeking Validation at the End of the World. And essentially, Carlos has a podcast out. He had also a job here in New York, where we live in New York City.
And a boyfriend.
And a boyfriend. Well, like a lot of people, he was furloughed from his job. He says, and I'm not just saying this, he says pushing 40. And as a result, because he was furloughed from his job, had to move back to, is it New Jersey or Baltimore? Yeah. Sorry, Baltimore. Or sorry, where did he move?
I thought it was New Jersey. I can look it up. I have it.
New Jersey. You're right. You're New Jersey. And it's a very, very honest article of a guy that's a really good writer and has a podcast, and he openly talks about what it's like to, in this COVID era, have a successful podcast. But as he says, as a lot of us in the podcasting world know, initially podcasting doesn't make you a lot of money. There's ways later on, but not for a while. And he talks about that, and he talks about how he has to move back as a gay man into his parents' house, who are very conservative parents, although they are very supportive of what he's accomplished. But he talks, one of the things that really struck me, Cody, and I know I sent you the article, was he talks about what it's like to move back at pushing 40 and to sit at the dinner table with your conservative parents when your podcast is all about the latest drag queen on RuPaul's Drag Race, or even some liberal Democrats like Stacey Abrams, which he had on his show, which is like, wow, that's a huge feat, that
Yeah,
his parents
totally.
wouldn't even know who that is. What did you think about the vulnerability that he expressed in that article?
I thought it was amazing. And I totally empathized with him because honestly, those thoughts have ran through my mind during this time, really. Like, I'm like, am I going to have to move back home with my mother, who's like, the situation that he has is not the situation that I would be walking into. My mom, I make my mom watch RuPaul's Drag Race. She will do anything for me. Like, so she screams, your pussy's on fire all the time because that's something that that they say on RuPaul's Drag Race. And she's so supportive of me, and she wants me to have a husband so badly. So, and I think she's been out with me to the clubs before. Just, she's amazing. So
your situation would be totally different than
if I lived with my mother, yes, because we would just have a good old time. She would be great. I don't know if I could bring any men home because she's probably not having that, especially because she goes to bed at 9:00. So.
Yeah, I mean, I thought it was really interesting. And to your point, Jeremy Ross Lopez was talking about on our Tags podcast that came out, episode 199. We addressed the issue that he's since moved away from New York City and is now back in Boston, where he's from, and the adjustment that's him. He also has a mother like you, and is also very open, and we love his mom so much, and so it would be a similar situation like you. But one of the things that Carlos wrote in his article was, what do you do when you're furloughed from your job and you're feeling down, even in a COVID era? And he says you take to Twitter. And what he wrote on there was really interesting. He wrote his situation, furloughed from my job. I'm not sure if he wrote has to move back home. And one of the comments that came back to him said, well, at least you're cute. And I'm making that up. I can't remember if they said, I think you're cute.
I think it said, at least you're attractive. I think that's what it said.
Hot or attractive?
I think attractive was the wording that they used.
Okay,
and
well, attractive, hot, cute.
Yeah, the same thing.
One of the things that I would like to talk to you about here in our Vulnerable Voices is when he expressed that, there is something to be said about everybody, particularly often we'll just focus on our gay community, that when somebody likes our picture, when you post something, I would argue there's a vulnerability about putting that picture of you in a harness up on Instagram, or that shirtless picture of you on Instagram, or just a picture in general, and the vulnerability that goes along with that. And I've certainly been guilty of that when I post something, I want to see who's liking it. And there can be, what he was referring to is that feeling, that immediate feeling of, wow, thank God, somebody posted that, at least you're attractive. Yeah. And he understood, as he writes, the interesting dichotomy of what that really means. In one sense is he got a little high off of that admiration, but on the other hand, it's like, wow, I'm getting high off of that admiration and I'm still where I'm at. What did you think of that? I
thought, again, I associate with that so much. I've been using the app for that, Grindr, specifically, but also Scruff. I go on there because I'm not really hooking up with anybody during this time. Again, I talk to people. I've been on dates before. I kissed a boy or two, but but that is one of the things that I go on the Grindr for, to see how many guys will like my picture, will shout at me, will say hello, will say, "Oh, you're adorable," and then it's something that I go to there for, and also Instagram. I go on Instagram. I'm sure you've seen my Instagram before. There's not a whole lot of pictures with me wearing clothes on my Instagram. So,
and I love them.
I mean, I made a decision a while ago that I was going to live my most authentic life, and that's part of who it is, who I am. I like my body. I like what I do to maintain this type of body. So I'm going to put it out there for the world to see. And the adoration or the likes that I get is only part of it. So yeah, I totally got what he was saying.
It's a really great article, and I was really impressed with the vulnerability that he really put out there.
Yeah, he's a really brave guy.
Yeah, I think it's really honest and real. And, he's going to be fine and great, but he's, like a lot of people, had to readjust. I think so many of us did not think this was going to be our 2020, whatever it looks like right now. And this adjustment period is a real thing. And for him, it happens to be back home in New Jersey with his parents that actually sound pretty cool. It's just that they're conservative.
They love him. And that's something. At least he has that to hold on to. So some people don't have that.
And so it got me thinking a little bit about the vulnerability about as we move into fall, because we've all been at least warm places like this here in New York City where we can be outside. And what is, and certainly places like here, they're going to open up restaurants 25%, but they're certainly not going to be opening up bars. And I asked one of the managers of the Eagle where we were at, are you gonna be open in some capacity? He's like, oh, I don't know. And like,
when did you sneak that question in?
I sneak a lot of things in.
Ooh. Let me find out.
But don't worry about it. But yeah, and I think there is sort of this unknown feeling for so many of us as we enter the fall, that what is life going to look like this fall? And it got me thinking a little bit about social bubbles. And I was telling my co-host on Tag's podcast yesterday I said, Cody, my other co-host.
Yeah, I heard my name. I was like, oh, that's me.
Cody is a part of my social bubble. We just decided that, we each don't have that many people that we see, and we're going to let each other. And Lincoln, our other co-host, brought up, he says, right. And the idea being that Cody's going to tell you if he's sick or something, or I'm going to tell you if I come down with something. And I think that's what's, healthy, and that's what's going to happen.
That's what's responsible in this time. So yeah, I definitely would. I probably wouldn't even leave the house. I'd just order all my meals in. I'm taking my meals in the bed this evening. So
but it got me thinking a little bit, Cody, because there was a barbecue that I got invited to recently that I was all excited to see boys and go to this barbecue on Labor Day weekend. And when I woke up in the morning, I texted you and I said, Cody, I don't think we should go after all because it's a potluck and, you're having utensils and it's probably not the best thing for us to go to. And you agreed. But it is a sort of sensitive subject on who you decide to kind of hook up with and who you share that information with, because not just judgments, but people have an opinion about certain things. Do you agree?
For sure. I mentioned before that I had kissed 2 boys before.
You kissed a boy?
And I liked it.
And you liked it.
And I loved it. So the first one, it was a park date. We spent almost the entire day today. I got to know who he was as a person. I got to know what he was doing during the pandemic in order to protect himself and protect others. And so I was like, this is a reasonable risk that I'm taking. I'm going to just go ahead and kiss this man. He's attractive, and I brought wine and
hey. All right.
The second time I was on Grindr and I hit up this guy, and before I went to his house, so I grilled him on like what he was doing during the pandemic, again, to protect himself and to protect others, and all satisfactory answers. So I went over to his house, but a friend of mine kind of, he will say that he was just concerned about me because I actually talked to him today about it. But to me, it felt like a total shaming. And I don't know if you've watched Game of Thrones before, but it felt like when Cersei was going through when they were doing shame with the bell and they were throwing stuff at her and calling her all kinds of names and all that kind of stuff. So it felt really, really, it made me feel ashamed to have done it. And it's even extended to now to where I went on a date last week and I didn't even think to kiss the guy. So I knew Corey would get it. Corey put shame, shame, shame.
Corey, feel free to jump in here. It's just grab a spot. Before I wanted to read a comment real quick from Blake. I had tickets to a concert this past Saturday that I really wanted to go to, and I skipped it because it was out in the boonies, and I doubt the people would wear masks. Yep, I hear you, Blake. It's a real thing. Corey. Yeah. Let's welcome our special guest tonight, Corey Harmon, the 2019. Hi, the 2019 Mr. Rock Bear. How you doing?
I'm good, living life as best as possible.
You look so good. You look so good in that lime green background. I am not mad at it.
This is my Rona weight, but I'm hiding it with a black shirt.
Oh, we all have it. If you notice, we're all like, strategically cut off. You look great as always, and I love the background of the room. Corey Harmon is, like I said, is the 2019 Mr. Rock Bear here in New York City for Rock Bar. Mr. Rock. Yeah, I said Mr. that right. I know. I got oh shoot, I said that wrong. I know. And has been on Tag's podcast, talk about gay sex a few different times, as well as your husband. You're married to DJ Ted Bishop, and before we get into why we brought you on to move it on to adult toys. Yeah, when did you get married, by the way?
Actually, our 1-year anniversary is on the 29th
of September.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Anniversary.
Congratulations. Happy anniversary. Yeah. Congratulations.
I was telling him, so do we bypass the dating anniversary now?
You do, yes, because you're married now. So what any plans?
Oh, okay.
No. He actually just got his job back, so he's getting back into the swing of things work-wise, and while I'm still looking, which is fine.
Got it.
The house is to myself.
Hey, I'm not mad at that house over there. Again, before we get into toys, because that was what sparked, we've had you on before, and you're such a great contributor to this show. And we thought we'd move it on to adult toys, and we'll tell you why in a minute. But I have to ask you, as somebody that was out like myself, I would see you out. I would see you at the naked parties at Rock Bar. You were obviously the Mr. Rock Bear. You entered contests like that. What has life been like in this COVID moment where we haven't been able to do our thing and be out?
It's been pretty quiet. Recently, I made the conscious decision to disable my social media accounts just because it felt like the world was imploding on itself, and I needed a break.
Yeah.
And so I don't know if I will go back, but we'll see. But right now, it's kind of nice not knowing this person posted this, so now this set of people are upset because they posted that. It's nice not being part of that.
Yeah.
There's a whole story on that I was just watching. I think a Netflix show, or I can't remember. I was just
The Social Dilemma. I just watched it.
Okay.
Today.
Yes.
Yes.
They were talking.
It was really good.
It is?
Yeah.
I can't wait to watch it.
It's really good.
Yeah.
It talks about how they created all the algorithms to kind of coerce you to think a certain way and monetize you as a person. Yeah.
Yeah.
And when you say particularly, I've always known this, I'm almost 50 and proud of it, but I think
you should be.
I didn't grow, thank you, but I was really saying that more because to me, social media came a little bit later for me, and I use it a lot for like what we do here for the show, Tags Podcast. And a lot of my social media has to do with that. I realize it's a real thing and important on so many levels, but I don't find myself scrolling a lot. I never have. I don't find myself talking on the phone a lot. I'm not a big texter. I'm very old school in that. But in this COVID era, wouldn't you guys agree that our moods are affected by a lot of this stuff, and social media could really bring you down? I don't know. What do you guys think?
Yeah.
Corey?
Oh, absolutely. It was the last police shooting that like really did it for me. Like that was a video I should not have seen.
Yeah.
And I broke down crying, and like if Ted wasn't here, I wouldn't know what to do with myself. And I was like, I don't think social media is a positive thing right now, for me at least. And social media is whatever people make it out to be for themselves. It's just too many people are using it for nefarious reasons rather than to bring the world together.
Well,
I removed myself.
Corey, didn't even think of this, but now that you brought it up, I have to ask you, as somebody that won the Mr. Rock Bear 2019, you had a platform, a title. You obviously took a lot of time and effort to go for this contest, and you won, and you had a whole year of it. What can you tell us about the Black community being Mr. Rock Bear? Was it a positive thing in our gay world or not? What can you share with us?
Well, during my title year, it was super positive. I got a sash, so you can recognize me. I have a patch from my leather vest that I think I'm the only Rock Bear winner who has one. So that makes it even more special. But during my title year, when I would go to the bar, I would see new faces that I didn't see before, or meet up with people that I would chat with on Instagram or Scruff. And then Ted and we had a party there, which is still in hiatus. However, we are planning to do a live stream directly from the bar soon.
Okay.
So stay tuned for that.
Hey.
It'll just be us in the bar, live streaming from the bar. There won't be anybody in there, but it's better than live streaming from the house. And it's just going to be him DJing, and I'm going to play with some lights and stuff to keep people entertained. And we may have a go-go dancer to kind of like, he'll be live streaming from his house, and we'll feed him into the main live stream. Ted has done it before for one of his gigs, and it's just to help with the bar's fundraiser to keep funds going into the people that work there.
I was going to ask, can I come to come and watch the go-go dancer? But he's going to be live streaming, so I'm good.
But we still have to work out the kinks. Hopefully when things reopen at 25% capacity, they'll throw bars in there.
And one last question, Corey, on this before we move on to toys, just to push you a little bit here and tell me to F up. But as a Black leader that won the contest, don't you think now your voice would be even more received and powerful as a Mr. Rock Bear? Why now get away from social media? At least in your community, you obviously had a lot of influence.
Well, you can't really be a leader if your social headspace isn't where it should be.
Got it. That says everything. Yep.
So, and I another part of my platform was self-care. So I would always tell people, don't worry about what other people are thinking. You have to work on you. Mm-hmm. So right now, that's what I have to do for myself.
I love it. That says it all. Well, let's get into one of the things that we were talking about. And it was our exchange. Corey, you and I were texting back and forth, and you were showing me some toys that you had. And we thought it would be a really good time to talk about our toys in this era right now when we're not really hooking up as much. And toys are a big deal. And
they are.
We can talk about I have some toys here, but one of the toys, we could just jump right into one of the toys that got the whole conversation going was this thing called, is that it? The fuck machine?
That looks
That's-
like
So
that looks like one of those Tommy guns that you use.
Sorry, Facebook Live over there. That's the machine, and that's what it is. So I
so
love.
this is
You love
the
Cody the
actual.
way he just held it up like that.
I know. I told him it looks like a Tommy gun. He looks dangerous right now. Go ahead.
So yeah, this is the machine off of the base. You can use it in handheld, or someone can use it for you. I got this, I want to say a month ago, and it's fun actually. Yeah, I use.
He said,
Actually, I
well,
used
the
it
reason we know
on
it's fun and why we
Friday.
probably like laughed for a second here is because Corey sent me, which I sent to. I hope you don't mind. I sent to Cody of you using it, and we were like, we wanted
Oh,
that
the
kind of
GIF I
fun
made.
too. Is that it?
It's really that's so yeah. This is it off the base.
But so
The base is just I figured it's too much to show on camera, so this is it. If you
explain
wanted
to
to use
people
it,
watching that may or may not know exactly what that is, explain what it really is and what it does and how it can be utilized.
So this is a fuck machine, and it screws into the base here. It plugs in here, and it's got a long wire with a control box that controls the speed of the machine.
Ooh.
So this is what it would sound like. And this is, you can
Not loud enough for
unscrew
your
this.
neighbors to hear, which I like it, but enough to know something's happening.
Except for me, I'm loud.
Okay, well, that we can't.
We're talking about the machine, Corey. We're not talking about you.
Yeah.
And then, you know, the box probably says any noise you make because of our product is at your sole discretion. We can't control that. We have no
exactly. But it has different speed settings. You can start off slow to get it in, and then you can crank it all the way up.
Here's my first question on that one. Obviously, you have to attach a dildo to it. Do they sell the accompanying dildos? And okay. So there's specific dildos that you buy.
Well,
Cody,
I just so happen.
I don't know if my mouth was open because of the surprise or because I wanted a dildo in my mouth.
I like to be prepared, but I just so happen to have two of their dildos from the company that made this, Fort Trough.
Look at Corey all prepared.
I love their stuff. I have their sling. Great purchase. Well,
Jen says dicks are present. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
That's right. So
I've got some here too. Like we'll pull in a minute, but yes.
I left my flesh jack in the other room. I might go get it.
Bitch, bye.
That's in the bedroom too. This is like the one I like to start out with. It's also my favorite because it's about 7 inches in length, but this part right here is also 7 inches.
Okay, take that dirty code.
So you feel the taper like really open you, and then you can like go to town. And then I have this one.
My god. Okay, back it up. Wow. Back it up, and I don't mean literally, but one question: are these specific dildos? That, like, for example, I've got my dildos here too, but it doesn't have an opening on the bottom, so I couldn't use this.
That's the thing.
So those are specific dildos, correct?
Yes. So these you can take the suction cup off, and the dildos come with these, but you can take the suction cup off, and then you can just plug it onto the machine.
Oh, wow. Okay. What I love about that is, so let's just say you're getting ready for the whole thing. You can lube it up with your favorite lube, and you can slowly control the speed. What I think is almost like perfection, because we in our other segment, vulnerability, you always don't 100% know as the bottom if that top is going to ram it in you or not. And you're like, hold on, motherfucker. You actually get to control how you enjoy the experience. It's like a ride, like an amusement park in many ways, right? And I want to go to this amusement park, by the way.
if you're like new to bottoming, the best way for you to be in control is for you to ride your top so that you can determine how much you want to
Corey,
take in.
that was a quotable moment. I need you to repeat it. The best way.
If you are new to bottoming, the best way to really get into it is to ride your top.
Did you hear that, Cody? 20%.
Wait a minute. Also, as a responsible top, shouldn't you like talk to your bottom about are they comfortable and try and see what speed they're comfortable with in the beginning? That's what I do. So
yes, you should, Cody. But we're not talking to this machine.
But, oh, okay. All right.
Yeah. And not all tops are responsible.
It's true. I am.
But Cody, that's you're right. Yes. And anybody, to your point, Cody, that would ram it up is got to go. I don't care how big it is. Well, yeah, I'm going to stick with that response. But so in the video that you sent us, sprawled out on a Saturday night in your leather thong that we were all jealous, is it really satisfying? I would imagine it would be because you're kind of controlling it. For me, I would accompany that with some hot porn, maybe some poppers. How was it amazing for you and different from the real deal?
Well, the first time I used it, I actually put on music.
Sade.
Snow Allegra was in there. Sade was in there. Yes, she was. Like her.
Oh, her.
You know,
okay.
I love some good lovemaking mood music. It just makes everything better.
Yeah, and I needed something to really relax me. So I was like, this is what we listen to when we actually fuck. So, oh wait, can I say that?
Yeah, I think you so. Yeah, maybe not on Facebook, but that's okay. We're okay. We're okay.
Oh.
Yeah, no. Let's use our time wisely, Corey. So,
yeah,
I'm.
But the second time I used it, I put porn on.
Okay.
Yeah. And I streamed it on the TV.
Hot. And you created like a whole situation where you can enjoy it. That's probably what I would do too. And I just think the whole thing about the bottom being able to control the toy is like one of the best things that you could ever do. What about you, Cody? For someone that doesn't always get pounded, would you be into this toy?
I need to talk to Corey about.
You're talking to him.
I have a couple questions for you about.
Ask him.
My butthole is not really used to taking things up there. I've had things up there before, Benoit beads. So what size should I start out with? I'll be okay with it. I mean, but what size should I start out with? Where do I get
one question at a time?
Place? Okay, all right. Sorry, I'm just bombarding him. I apologize.
Our special guest, Cody.
As far as a good size to start out with, it would depend on your tolerance. I usually say like 6, and your hole. You have to know like your hole.
I need to get familiar with my hole. Yeah.
But if a good length to start with is about 6.5, maybe 6 if you're like really skittish, and a good circumference would be 5 inches. That's a good starting point. I would start with your finger though.
Okay.
What was your other question?
Where do you get one? Is a good place to get one? Where's like a reputable
and Corey, before you answer that question, on Facebook somebody wrote they love Fort Trough, but that's just one viewer. Tell us where you got yours if you even want to.
Well, this is
there you go.
Fort Trough. It was for their annual sale. I got this with a ball gag and a attachment so that I can connect both of these together like that.
For you and your husband.
I think I got all 3 of those. Yes. I think I got that stuff for like $250.
Wow. I'm loving like the double trouble, double penetration moment going on there.
we like to experiment. What can I say?
I am so obsessed with the F machines. Now we're all concerned about saying that word. I really am. I've always thought that they are so cool. One of the things that you talked about on our text exchange was the importance of cleaning your toys. And I'm with you, because how often do you play with a flesh jack, a dildo, and you're like, oh, whatever, like, and throw it aside. But the germs and proper cleaning, I think, are so.
And
Can you talk a
storage.
little bit, because you sent me a picture a while back of how you care for your toys, and they were almost like vacuum packed, sealed, and delivered, like you were about to sell them. Explain.
So I sometimes I'll keep the
Oh.
packaging that they come in just to store them, because I've had other toys that I would just throw in the drawer, and then when I went to go use them, they would be fused together, like the materials would have melded together. It's happened with cock rings. It's happened with my dildos, butt plugs. So I just decided one day I'm gonna keep the packages. I clean it before use with antibacterial soap. After I use it, I clean it with a toy cleaner that I get off Amazon. And I use Doc Johnson's refresh powder to keep the material nice and dry so that it stays in the
What is Doc
packaging.
Johnson's?
I've had it's if you look it up on Amazon, they like make sex toys, but they make maintenance products too. And they have this little, I think it's 3 ounces of powder, and it's not talcum powder because it's completely different than baby powder. And like this one, I've had this one now for 3 years, and it's still kind of new, and it gets a lot of use.
It doesn't look new though.
I know, right?
Cum dripped and all, but
I was like, why
or
is
is
that
it supposed to be that?
Yeah, because I got all the powder on it.
You did not just say ashy.
But it is how you maintain your toys so that they'll last so much longer. Like this is another favorite.
I love it. So you know what? And you're right, Corey. And I know, all jokes aside, the importance of cleaning. We have Dr. Goldstein on all the time about properly cleaning out anally as a bottom, how water is not always a good thing. And he has a solution with Future Method that you can properly douche out, that you're not destroying the inner linings of your anal cavity. And we should think about that when we talk about our toys too, because if you're just using them on somebody else, or it's sitting around collecting, that's potential bacteria. And if we've learned anything in this COVID era is that bacteria exists, y'all, and clean those toys out and give them the moment that they deserve. Put them on a shelf or vacuum pack them. And yeah,
exactly.
And like Corey said, that extends the life of a toy. So if you take care,
you treat them good, and they will keep treating you good.
with things like the F machine, do you have to like oil it up, or what's the maintenance on that? Is it battery operated or what?
It's not battery operated. You do have to plug it into a landline socket, but I haven't needed to lube it. I've used it I think 4 times now, and it's still like brand new. And it's like I've used it 4 times recently.
Before we got on the show, or
yeah, the last time I used it. No, the last time I used it was on my birthday.
Oh my goodness!
Happy belated birthday!
Yeah, happy belated birthday. That was, I can tell. Absolutely.
I mean, you've got a fuck machine. Of course, it was a good time.
Well, Corey, before we let you go, what are you looking? What does your fall look like? I mean, we all know that we're moving into colder times here, and we all live in New York City here. Is your husband Ted DJ? Is it a lot of virtual events? And what's your fall look like?
Well, for me, I'm just taking it one day at a time. I'm trying not to make plans so that it doesn't create any type of disappointment for me should those plans fall through. So I'm just really looking for work. As far as Ted, he will still be doing his live streams. However, with Facebook tightening down the rules on live streaming, he won't be streaming there anymore. He'll be streaming on his webpage and his Mixcloud account. And I'll be in the background doing that and helping him with the lights and stuff. But I may start dabbling in DJing again myself, because I used to do it about a decade ago. And then I just kind of fizzled out. And then when I met Ted, I'm like, oh, he's a DJ. I don't know.
I love it.
But I'm home, and there's some music that I've been listening to that kind of makes me want to dance naked around a bonfire, praising the ancestors. And I want to
dancing around a bonfire naked. I'm in.
Send
Absolutely.
it to me, please. Yes.
Corey Harmon, thank you so much. As always, you deliver every single time you've been on the show. We really appreciate you. I would tell everyone where to follow you, but you will let me know when you're back on social media. We thank you so much for being a part of Tags Live. It's been such an enlightening pleasure. Thanks so much.
Thank you, Corey. I adore you.
All right. We'll talk to you soon. All right. Oh my goodness. How amazing was Corey?
I love him. He's the best.
He really
is.
We had fun that one night that the three of us all went out, right?
Yeah, that was a great time.
Yeah.
This is the first time I met him, I think. So
absolutely.
I was like, oh, this is my soul brother right here. So
absolutely. Yes. Yes, that was a fun Kiki. Absolutely. I cannot wait till he just wrote in the comment section. Checking real quick. Any other comments
Oh yeah. Jen said that Doc Johnson is the largest toy maker. The one that makes the powder. So she would know about dildos, trust me.
Okay. Wow. And Jen, our friend, is going to be on the show next week, we think, right, Cody?
I'll talk to her and we'll see what happens.
Okay. Couple of quick announcements before we leave you. Check out episode 199. We are making our way to 200. The original podcast, Tags Podcast, with Jeremy Ross Lopez and Lincoln, is out right now. We get into some hot gay sex topics, and next Tuesday is our 200th episode, and we're doing video with Jeremy and Lincoln. It's going to be a lot of fun to celebrate the 200th episode, which is kind of a big deal. We're excited about that. Tomorrow night, Cody and I are live for Sex with Stevie. It's on Facebook Live, on our Facebook page, and you can watch that. It's a call-in show, and it's a lot of fun. I've got a special guest that's going to be talking about his brand new book. It should be a lot of fun. Cody's calling in. Yes, and we are here every Wednesday on the Get Vocal platform for the Connection Zone. Stay tuned, because there's more to come on the Connection Zone. You don't want to miss it. Thank you, Cody Maurice Doggett.
Thank you, my darling.
All right.
Always a pleasure.
Totally. We'll see you next time.